Hey, good morning, everyone, and welcome to TCA. My name's Christian.
And I'm Andy. Good morning.
Good morning, Andy.
Good morning, Christian. We're back, man.
We are back in Mooresville, back sitting behind the desk instead of standing behind the camera like we were last week.
Yeah. It's and we're back sitting next to each other, so we don't have to worry about the frames and getting the shot just right. And
Yep.
Those kinds of things.
So, Andy, real quick, just so everybody watching who maybe just started following us, we went live last week around the country during the Retool Tour, and we want to talk about that this morning. We also want to talk about what's coming up next. We want to give some shout-outs, some thank yous, but first, we want to let everyone know we're live right now.
We are live. We're live. We're monitoring comments. It's a little easier. Last week, I know there were some comments that we didn't get to, and I apologize for that because it's a little difficult when we were trying to run everything and trying to move around to different places.
Oh my gosh.
And yeah, it was a little bit it may not have looked like it watching it from home or wherever you were watching it from, but it was a little chaotic at times.
It was a bit chaotic, but yeah, it's much easier to monitor everything
for sure.
Here at the desk.
For sure.
So, hey, if you're watching, drop us a line, drop us a note in the comments. Let us know that
Say
you're
hello.
watching. Say
Tell
hello.
us where you're from.
Yeah. You know it, all right? You know the deal. That's what we like. So let us know. Or give us a big thumbs up in the comments. That'll work too. So anyway, hope everyone's having a great Tuesday morning. We're coming to you from Mooresville, North Carolina.
Maybe we should talk about that some too, because if there are some, I think we gained quite a few followers last week.
That's true.
Doing what we were doing. So
Yeah.
maybe you don't know what this is.
Oh, that's a good point.
So maybe we should talk about what the TCA actually is. Why don't you tell us, Christian?
Okay, so TCA. TCA stands for Tuesday's Coffee Address. We like to keep it simple around here at Wine and Cold, So basically, Andy and I get online every Tuesday at 9 a.m.
Eastern.
9 a.m. Eastern time, and we sit here and we go live drinking our coffee, talking about what's going on here, talking about the industry with you, the audience. So every single week you guys can join in, watch TCA with us. It's every week at 9 o'clock on Tuesday.
Yeah, and so we do lots of different things. You know, we've been talking, our industry is so tied to housing, so a lot of our updates are on the housing industry in general. Don't have as much research that I've done with the last week because we were a little crazy. I didn't even watch much news last week, so I was catching up on Sunday night as to what we had missed for the week. But yeah, so we try to not just make this about Wine and Holzer, but about our industry in general, because we do love this industry. We've both been in the industry for a long time, and we want to see it succeed.
Everyone should understand, though, Andy has been in the industry just a little bit longer than I have been, which he likes to bring up
quite a bit longer, actually.
Which he likes to bring up on a normal basis. So I just thought I would preempt that.
Yeah, but along those lines, and I don't have much information, but I did read recently that part of our, whatever you want to call it, a housing boom. Certainly, there's a rise in housing that's going on. Also, I need to say my mom is watching, so hi, Mom.
Oh, how great!
And Dan Hirschberger. So
the professor is watching this morning.
But anyway, so part of the housing boom, they're saying the interesting thing about this is a big contributor to the rise in home sales and new home purchases or new home builds is among millennials, which, you know, for so long.
Is that right?
Yeah, they for so long they thought the millennials were going to be the generation that didn't own anything. They were going to They were going to rent cars, maybe not even lease a car, maybe do ride share kind of things.
Yep. Rent their homes or rent apartments in the city. Exactly.
And the largest percentage growth through the months of July and August have been amongst those under 35 years old.
Right.
Yeah.
So the new construction industry, the housing industry continues to grow, which is great news for our industry. So again, we've talked about this a lot, especially on TCA, how new construction and the home building industry is so tied to our industry, which is woodworking. Customers of ours, partners in the community, they make cabinetry, trim, flooring, structural beams. I mean, anything you can think of.
Molding, doors, windows.
It all goes in homes, right? It all goes in, and most of it goes in residential construction. So it's good to see that housing is on the rise. We try to bring you a little bit of optimism during this time of COVID. where things are still just not back to normal. And I think last week was a really good wake-up call for us, because we've been in our North Carolina bubble here for months, and we got to travel all over the U.S. and got to see a few different shades of, I guess you could call it shades of shutdown, right? So.
Yeah, but the interesting thing, and tell me if you agree, is that airports seemed, other than everyone wearing masks, they were very busy.
Yeah. I mean, people are still flying. They're still traveling. I think that makes sense. The airlines are taking the precautions that they need to be to keep everyone safe, to make everyone feel comfortable on the flights and also in the airport itself. So lines act a little bit differently through maybe security or at the gates.
Or even amongst the different airlines, right? Yep. We saw a difference. We saw some contrasting opinions of how to do things, because different airlines are doing things differently. And not to say that either of them are better, but I think we were mainly American and Delta this week. Yep. So both you got the sense that they both cared about making sure that everyone else felt safe.
Right. So we were also able to meet with quite a few customers throughout the entire U.S. and and how they operated was very different as well. Some folks had more of a spaced out. Were telling us that they had more of a spaced out manufacturing floor. Others were just saying, hey, we're just doing stuff, continuing to do stuff as normal, but with masks, and people are trying to social distance, but everyone was saying that they were busy. So that's a good thing.
One of the things that I've always loved about our industry is that I've even made these comments amongst the groups that know nothing about our industry, is that pretty much our industry, everybody's the same person. We have different accents.
Right.
Right. I don't have an accent. I know that, but everyone else seems to. But while we have different accents and we live in different parts of the country, we're used to different climates. We're all very similar, and I think that spoke in volumes, going from Miami, all the way to Southern California, hitting Utah and Michigan in between. Coming back in the Charlotte region, we're more familiar with that. But how everyone is. They're all busy. They're all concerned. But our industry as a whole is very strong and full of a lot of really good people.
A lot of really good people. I mean, folks who are entrepreneurs and craftsmen many times at the same time. And it was just a pleasure to meet many of them and get to travel to the different areas. I will say that one thing that was surprising to me was how different things are from one place to another. Even though this is one country and we stayed within the United States, things how traveling was in North Carolina versus California, very different, very, very different. And
and not just travel, right? Going to dinner.
Oh, sure. Oh, well, yes, commerce.
Trying to get coffee, perhaps,
Yeah.
Some places we couldn't get our coffee in the morning because it was going to be too long of a wait if you didn't have their app.
Oh, well, if you didn't make a reservation for your coffee.
Yeah. So, Andreas, good morning from Germany.
So anyway, last week was definitely a really, I thought it was a really neat time just to be able to see what life was like in the midst of COVID throughout the country, and that was good to see. Like Andy said, it was great to see a lot of our customers. It was excellent to hear how they're all busy, but you know what? With that, Andy, let's just kind of go through last week for anyone.
Because we learned a lot, right?
Yeah, we did learn a lot.
So we've continued, and we've said it before on this show. This show has been a way for us to learn how to do what helped us do what we did last week. We've learned about streaming on multiple platforms at once. We've learned about how to keep a good connection, how to make the quality of the video good, things like that.
Absolutely.
We learned even more last week.
We did.
And we learned different things in different places. We learned we have some great agents, some great partners.
Man, we really do. And so let's just kind of start from the beginning. Big shout out to Florida Machinery, specifically to Manny and Ashley. You all are awesome. We were at Florida Machinery on Monday of last week. We were there all day streaming. They have an absolutely terrific showroom.
They do, absolutely, and great people. Man, Manny did such a great job. One of our most watched or most viewed segments was the segments that Manny did in Spanish.
Oh, really? Is that right?
We have
Wow.
a lot of folks, obviously, that watch us from Mexico, but also just when you're in Florida or Texas or Arizona or California, there is a large Spanish-speaking population, and
Sure.
so the demonstrations that Manny did in Spanish were very popular.
Yes. So, yeah, and if you didn't see him, you can go back and look at them in our video archives. But that was an excellent day at Florida Machinery. Excellent agent in the Miami area, Florida Machinery. Check them out. They're online. They're also they also have a great Instagram presence. So check them out.
Manny, if you're
on
watching,
Instagram.
you should also know that you have you've motivated other agents in our network. A lot of our agents, we have a lot of great agents, but a lot of them saw what Manny was doing in Florida, and they've decided they need to up their game, all because of what they saw with Manny.
And in the age where a brick and mortar retail is dying, maybe brick and mortar machinery is on the rise, because it was so obvious to that when we were there at Florida Machinery, how useful that tool was. Manny has always had a presence in the Miami area and has been Mr. Holzer down there in Southern Florida. But having that showroom where he's able to run sample runs for people, when he's able to get software guys in his showroom to help with the software element on a Holzer router, or even to just show people around an edge bander, which is what he did on the video. Just having that facility to do that, absolutely awesome. And I think that's just going to be, I think that he has completely upped his game, and anyone in the cabinet industry in Southern Florida should absolutely know Manny.
Yes.
And go visit them, because because just being able to go see the different types of machines that he has running under his roof will help any shop down there.
He was basically across the street, right, from the executive airport in Miami.
Yes.
Right.
So apparently there's an executive airport in Miami.
Yeah, we didn't know about until we saw it across the street.
Right, and they're right there. So so if you're in Miami, you can just look up Florida Machinery. Head over there. If you're not in Miami and you want to go to Florida Machinery and you have your own private jet, apparently you can just fly into the executive airport. But that's where they are in Miami. Great folks. Again, Manny and Ashley, thank you guys. If you're watching, thank you so much. You guys made last week possible. On Tuesday, after we went to Miami, we came here to Mooresville, and we have just a tremendous team here. I mean, that goes without saying.
Yeah.
A lot of helping hands here in Mooresville.
Yeah, Mooresville. It was also chaotic at times. We one of the things that we've learned is that we're not where we need to be as far as trying to live stream and keeping an internet connection. We'll talk more about that, because it really there was a big spotlight on it on Friday. But here we learned some things too, but we were able to get through it. And actually, 2 of our most viewed videos were here. 2 of our most viewed live streams.
Which ones were those?
Digital business business that you guys set up here, and Donnie showed you all the things he was working on with the different dashboards and all of the information you can collect and monitor on the Weinig and Holzer machines. That was actually the #1 watched interview or session that we had throughout the week.
That was a great session, because and I told you all when we started TCA this morning, we're going to keep moving forward this year. We got a lot of cool stuff in the pipeline, and one of those is our push into digital business. Donnie Kirkland was up here at the desk. We went over dashboards. We went over via cockpit, the app, machine monitoring, service calls from the app. I mean, all these digital tools that, honestly, if you haven't watched the video, you should go and watch it. But one of the main things I love from that video was how accessible all these tools are. It's just a matter of showing new machine owners how to use them and educating them on how to make them useful in their own production environments.
So the majority of new machines that you buy from the Weinig Group, whether they be Weinig or Holzer machines, are ready from the factory to connect to what Donnie was showing. We just need to make everyone more aware of that.
That's exactly right. So that was a great video. And then you said there was another one.
The other one, the second most watched session that we did last week was of the show to CNC. So our launch, our announcement our official viewing of the Shota CNC with and bringing in having the partnership with Shota here in North America. That was the second most watched video that we had.
So folks, if you're watching, Shota routers. They're great machines, and we finally, after months of preparation, we finally have one in our showroom, and we are representing Shota here
Actually
in the
had
US.
multiple private demonstrations last week throughout the week of customers coming in to see the machine.
Now
and they
that's
were
not
all super
surprising.
impressed. Yeah,
I mean, that is not surprising. That's a neat machine that's kind of been out of the U.S. market for years.
Yeah.
And we've brought that back into the
Right.
market. Great machine. We have a full introduction to Shota in the video archive, so you can check that out.
Yeah, good stuff. And then we did go to Hickory. Had some more connectivity issues up there. You know, the building where we were showing the machines off. It actually, when I went back and watched it, it was much smoother than what I remembered happening while we were there. But you know, it's hard to hold an internet connection there. I think you guys may have seen. We even dropped during the edge banner return conveyor. If you haven't seen that, go back. It may still be untitled.
Yeah, I'll have to look at it. We'll have to look at that.
But one of the videos from Tuesday night was of the new return conveyor that MHD, Material Handling Division here in the U.S., that they're building up in Hickory. And we had some internet issues, so there was right when Kevin started feeding parts through, we dropped the internet and dropped our feed. Had to get it back. Joe Hill, because Christian and Brett had already gone to Michigan, so Joe Hill was doing an excellent job of being thrown into the fire, into the lion's den, and having to figure it out. And we got it. We were able to get it back up quickly and finish that demonstration.
So big shout out to our IT team.
Yeah.
Joe, Donnie, and everybody involved here in North Carolina. They were absolutely amazing through all this great support.
And they are doing things already because, again, we learned lessons on things that we need to improve on, and they're fixing them already, and we'll be ready to do more of this moving forward.
So one thing that we'll just give you guys a little bit of a teaser about is that return conveyor that Andy was talking about. That's a Holzer return conveyor made right here in Hickory, North Carolina. That will be up in the Mooresville showroom soon, and we'll do more videos on that. The actual material handling line that you saw last week on Tuesday afternoon will be we'll have some more videos on that as well. I'm going to head up to Hickory and grab
Go
some
back
more
and watch
footage.
those. Those were quick videos.
They were quick,
and they were late in the day, so they didn't. Some of the stuff, it was on the schedule, but we didn't hit the scheduled time because, again, we had some connectivity issues.
Right.
Actually, the first time we went through it entirely, realized that none of it went up, so we had to do it. We had to do it all, the entire thing again for the big line. But those are some cool videos to see what we're doing here in the U.S. That's we're doing some good things. Good morning or good afternoon, Christian from Austria.
Yeah, Christian,
thanks for joining in.
Hey, good to have you with us. Always great to have folks from Europe joining us. It's late in their day, so awesome. Welcome, man. So then on Wednesday we were in Grand Rapids the last week. Again, all the videos are up there, but man, I thought one of the coolest videos that we did on Wednesday was just the tour of Scarlett Machinery.
Third most watched video.
I'm telling you, those guys have it together. They got a great facility up there, Scarlett Inc. They're in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Any production shops up in the Michigan area, we know that you have, you got some other machinery companies up there too, but gosh.
You might describe them as beyond professional.
Look up Scarlett. Yeah. They are absolutely great. They have a tremendous team there. They are professional and they are personable. I mean, they are all real people. They're down to earth. They want to help you succeed. They really partner with their customers. We got the full tour of their facility, and we got to really kind of go in depth in who they are, how they got started, because they got a really cool history.
Well, James is third generation, right?
That's right. That's right. And it was that's a great video. So get to know Scarlett Machinery if you're in the Midwest. They're awesome, and then go back and watch that video. You can kind of see what they're all about. So after Grand Rapids, we headed over to Salt Lake City, actually West Jordan, Utah.
West Jordan, just outside. I mean, maybe 20 minutes from the Salt Lake airport.
Maybe. Yep. So conveniently located to Salt Lake, Access International Machinery is there, and again, an agent that That's a Holzer and Weinig agent in the Salt Lake area, and Wes Shepard runs Axis up there, and also absolutely just top notch.
For somebody, they did not have a lot of experience with doing video demos in their showroom, and it was obvious they were a little nervous going in, but man, it came off. For me, one of the best demonstrations of the day was the one that Wes and Jeff did on the 1380 Lumina. If you haven't seen that, go back. They brought in some guests to talk about edge banding, to talk about glue, and then just to show the ease of use, the heat up time, the change out between NIR and PUR glue. Yep. I mean, that was, to me, that was one of the most informative sessions of the week.
They did an absolutely tremendous job. And we also had Jimmy and the Powermobile up in Utah as well.
Jimmy's always fun.
And so Jimmy's always fun, and he did not let anyone down.
No, we dropped the internet, and we came back, and we were struggling to get all three of the feeds going. And while we only had it on Facebook, Jimmy just decided to give a quick
spiel about
his
Tennessee,
trip out, and his trip out. Just to open your eyes while you're driving across the country.
Man, I'll tell you, Jimmy is an absolute gem here at Weinig. He is a quick shout out to Jimmy. He's in Texas this week.
Okay.
So he's in Texas this week with another agent down there, Maze Machinery. If you're in Texas and you see the Powermobile, we've been asking people to do this for a couple months.
We haven't had anybody take us up on it.
I know. Okay, look, if you see the Powermobile rolling down the road, take a picture of it and send it to us.
Yeah.
We want to know. We believe Jimmy. We know that he's actually working, but we would just love you to take a picture of the Powermobile. You can't miss it. It's the only truck that you'll see on the road with Weinig plastered all over it. Yeah. So he's in Texas this week, but Utah was great last week. So after Salt Lake, after Access International Machinery, who was absolutely great, we went over to Expo West. So, Andy, Expo West was a little bit of a bust on Friday.
You could say that.
You could say that. First of all, before we talk about that, I just want to say everybody over at Expo West, all of our staff over there, technicians.
They did not contribute to the bust.
They did not. They were absolutely great. They had that showroom looking top notch.
Had some customers.
We had customers in. We had vendors in. We had vendor setups. I mean, the place actually was. The place was busy. It's just we just could not get our technical situation really under control.
We put the one video up, and if anyone watched it, you know that we had some audio issues going then. And that was, not only did we not have internet to be able to do any more videos, but right after that, even as we were recording the videos,
the cable was breaking down.
So the audio was in the cable. Cable completely failed. We scrambled around, went to 3 different. We were going all across trying to find electronic stores that were open in California. And finally, Brian Dreiling saved the day and found a place to get us a cable.
Big shout out to Brian, who's our Holzer direct sales guy down in Southern California. If you know him, you probably know him because he knows a lot about panel processing equipment. I know him because he kind of saved the day on Friday. But all that to say, you guys watching, you probably don't know that because we were not able to post any of those videos. We thought that we would wait until today. So, following TCA today, we're going to actually stream all of Friday's videos that we did.
One right after another.
Yep, at Expo West. We're going to just stream all of that today. So keep an eye on our Facebook and our YouTube page.
Approximately 3.5 hours.
Yeah, good amount of content. Okay, we'll be streaming today, and then we'll obviously live on Facebook and YouTube.
Oh, look, Mr. Steven from, I believe he watched us a lot last week. He's from Israel.
Oh, okay, great. Welcome from Israel. We have quite the international audience this morning, so that's great. So so we're going to be streaming throughout the day today all those videos that we did at Expo West in Anaheim last Friday. So
before we go off of that, though, I do want to. We have to go back and say that one of the things, we had great help from our agents across the country, but we really, and I talked about it some on the live streams, our technicians are top notch, and they did an excellent job last week. We interviewed some of them right on the spot. Some of them, technicians don't like to a lot of times the technicians don't want to be on camera, and we were basically shoving a microphone in their face and saying, hey, and turning the camera on, and they did an excellent job. We've got some great technicians.
They did an absolutely incredible
Very knowledgeable.
job.
They did a great job setting the machines up.
A couple shout outs really to some of our techs that were kind of thrown into last week. Hector down in Miami did an absolutely terrific job explaining more of the technical aspects of the CNC router and the edge banders, both in English and in Spanish. So Hector, nice job down in Miami last week. Kevin, over in Grand Rapids, right before we went live in Grand Rapids, and Kevin came up to me and said, I don't really need to say anything, right? Like Tim's going to be doing the presentation. And I said, yeah, it's going to be totally fine. If it just, let's just run the machine and it'll be fine. Little did we know that we decided midstream to just have Kevin talk, and did a phenomenal job. So, Mr. Crandall, a lot of respect. You did a great job last week. It's great to have you on the team. So nice job there.
We pulled Jordan and Ryan in over there in Utah.
I couldn't believe that. Ryan and Jordan, both technicians out in Utah.
I mean, by the end of the day, they were probably the most comfortable.
I mean, they were totally comfortable talking to everybody online, and we were just having a blast.
It was hard to pull the microphone away from Ryan.
Not to mention, they know their stuff. Yeah. I mean, they know their stuff inside and out. Excellent guys. And then obviously at Expo West.
Yeah, you'll see more of that on today.
You'll see more of that today. So
we got an introduction of some of the guys.
Yeah, thanks to Daryl, Octavio, Ivan,
and Mike Shirley.
Mike Shirley. Yeah, you guys did a tremendous job. Also, a quick shout out to some of our vendors who helped us out last week. Or some vendors, not our vendors, but vendors in the industry. Lockdowel helped us out tremendously. And we were able to use Lockdowel fasteners in 2 demos last week, one in Utah and one in California. Joe Watt was at a couple of our demos, so that was great. Also, that 1380 Lumina video that you were talking about had a Joe Watt representative talking about PUR glue. SSI for the edge banding, and really just Hexagon for software down in Miami.
And they were also in Utah.
And they were in Utah too. So Hexagon really kind of definitely, getting to
not
where
on
the
camera, but
are.
they came here late in the week last week to help us with post-processor issues.
So thank you. So thank you to all industry vendors and partners who showed up during last week to the different locations that we were at. Couldn't have done it without you guys. Really, you're a lot of times you're the glue, no pun intended for Joe Watt. You're the glue that holds this together, that makes the machines work, that makes the cabinets go together, etc. So, thanks to all of you.
Yeah, it was quite the week. I always remember there was somebody told me once that when we were talking about the job they were doing, and they say, I'm kind of like a duck. And I said, well, what does that mean? What does that mean? I said, well, a duck, when a duck is swimming along on top of the pond, it looks all nice and calm, but underneath the water, its legs are kicking like crazy. And so, the part that you didn't see last week, and the people who were involved in that kicking, we certainly appreciate that, because it wasn't easy, but we were able to pull it off.
We did. So, as Walt Disney once said, we're going to we keep moving forward. And that's what we're going to be doing here at Weinig-Holzer. We got a lot of great things in store for the fall.
Well, we have Next Level.
So, I was just going to say two events that we want to give shout-outs to real quick. Next Level, first of all. Yeah.
In conjunction with Sheffield Live.
So, Next Level, Sheffield Live, that's going to be happening in October. We will have more information about that online here in the next week or two. Also, Wood Technology Days up in Canada.
Yes. So, also in October.
We'll have more information online about that as well.
Still working out some details because we don't know if we can. I think one time we talked about Jimmy going, but I'm not sure if he can. We're going
to try to get the Power Mobile up there for the Wood Technology Days. We'll just have to see what the borders look like at that point. But those are the 2 October events that we're excited about, that we're going to be doing. But I think, Andy, that when we look at event and event planning, in the future.
It's going to be different.
It's going to be different.
There's a new normal.
There absolutely is, and I think that we need to be adaptive and we need to be creative on the way that we reach folks and everyone watching. If you're a manufacturer, you're facing the same thing. You're having to be more adaptive. You're having to change. You're having to kind of roll with the punches and get to your customers in different and new ways. And that's what we're going to be trying to do as well. So a big push in digital business, a big push in social media, and a big push in video.
Well, right. So I think that we've learned that now that we've gotten over the hump, it wasn't easy to get to where we are now as far as doing the live streams and things. But I don't know that there'll ever be an event that we do that doesn't have a live stream part to it. So,
absolutely.
So we can reach more people. Yes, there are a lot of customers that want to see machines in person, and so we're going to accommodate that. But for those who want to see what's happening, absolutely, our Next Level event in October. There's some questions about the dates on Next Level, and even the event in Canada. We'll make sure and bring that stuff to you live. So if you don't want to travel across the country or across the border to go to some of these events, you'll still be able to see what's happening.
So Next Level is going to be the 15th and the 16th of October. And Wood Technology Days is going to, I believe, be the 21st, 2nd, and 3rd of October. Right. Yeah. So, and we'll have more information on that online. We'll even put a few links once we process this video.
Right. Well, we talked about, so we have the weinigholzer.com website that was dedicated to Retool Tour.
And so this week we'll be launching the weinigholzer.ca website, okay. Which is going to be the Canadian version of that same website that's going to, right now at least, promote the Woodworking Technology Days in Canada in October. So that's going to be weinigholzer.ca. It should be live just in a day or two.
Be looking for that, and then we're going to the weinigholzer.com. Is that where we're going to have the information for Next Level?
So we'll have information for Next Level on weinigholzer.com. So you'll be able to see that, register for the event, and get more information about what machines we'll be demoing and that kind of stuff.
Very good.
Yep.
Well, I think with that, we're getting a little long-winded today, which we had a lot to talk about. We have a lot to talk about.
We are a bit long-winded this morning. Hey, thanks to everyone for watching. I see we've had some comments here. Chris Sauer. Hey, Chris, great behind-the-scenes help from last week. We appreciate you, buddy. And can't wait to see you next
Andy
time.
Andy Dawson was on. He helped out a lot with getting the technicians scheduled. Access Machinery is on. Man, we can't say enough about our partners last week to help us out with the live streams.
Absolutely tremendous. One more time. I mean, hey, shout out Florida Machinery, Scarlet
Inc.
and Access Machinery. You guys did a tremendous job last week.
You have set the bar.
Absolutely set the bar. We can't thank you enough. It was absolutely great. So we got all kinds of stuff rolling to you in the next month or two, and next week, same time, 9 a.m. Eastern time. Andy and I will be back right up here giving you TCA. But for this week, I think we're ready to sign off.
Yeah, I think we're ready to be done. So
all right.
You guys have a fantastic rest of your week, and we'll look forward to seeing you next Tuesday.
All right, guys. Take care.